Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be taking a break from the typical type of horror that I'd be covering for this month, which would be, your zombies, your ghosts, your goblins, your trolls, and supernatural forces, and mass slashers who can't be killed. We're going to be getting into one of the lesser looked at types of horror, which is the thriller. Thrillers come in so many different forms, but the ones that are, to me, most connected to horror usually will have a horrifying scenario that either the planet or a group of people would have to endure. For example, the sum of all fears. Facing, an annihilation is a horrifying scenario because, most of us think about what the end of our time is going to look like, if we're going to die peacefully in our beds, or is the world going to get destroyed by an exploding sun? Today, I believe that Netflix has given us an absolute banger of a thriller that I think fits great in with this month. While not the traditional type of horror, I think watching it living in this country in this time, it's a bit more horrifying than it may have been even 4 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, the subject of today's video is 2025's A House of Dynamite, streaming right now on Netflix. It just came out on Friday. I had no idea. I had seen absolutely nothing about this movie until the morning it was coming out. It showed up on my YouTube timeline. I watched the trailer. I was intrigued. So, real quick, the plot is the United States is under attack. There is a ballistic nuclear missile headed for somewhere in the continental United States. And essentially, our government is not only trying to intercept this missile so that it does not, destroy an American city, but they're also trying to find out who is responsible. Because when the initial warhead is launched, it has no origin. No one's taking responsibility. We have our allies, we have our enemies, but we simply don't know where it came from. And as everyone tries to figure it out, they try to figure out how they're going to respond. And that's as much as I want to tell you about the plot, because I really think you should go and watch this movie. So, the cast, it's an ensemble cast. They have a lot of different agencies. It involves like FEMA, the Situation Room, the Secretary of Defense, Vice President, obviously the President, Senate, Congress. Like there's so much involved. This is a very big cast, and there's a lot of people in it, and that you're going to recognize, some that you won't. But when I tell you they did a fantastic job of relaying the stress that would go onto them as they try to solve this problem before alerting the American public. Because their hope is that they can just simply blast it out of the sky and they'll find who's responsible. They can give us, the American people, just a quick explanation as to what's going on and why we're attacking these people. And nothing happens to the United States. That is a lot of pressure on them. And the worst case scenario is the movie. The movie is one of the worst case scenarios. You need a lot of emotion in a movie like this, and I believe that the cast, they hit a home run. Every single person that they gave the task of relaying through their emotions and bringing that tension through the screen into the audience at home, I think they did a fantastic job. This movie is very fast paced. It's a typical morning. People are showing up with their coffee in hand. They're going through security without complaining. They go through security, and as they're getting set up for the day, boom, the scenario starts. We go full steam ahead less than 30 minutes into this movie. This is not one where you're going to be getting up and down and doing shit. You need to actually sit and watch this movie. It is fantastically done. It is shot very well. A lot of good camera angles, a lot of it felt so raw and gritty at certain points. I think they did a very good job with the cinematography in this one. Not a lot in the way of like big music because, like I said, the reason it felt so real is because it didn't have a lot of background music. It would be like it would be in real life. If this scenario was going on, no one's going to have a top 40 radio in the fucking background. Like they're going to be quiet, points of absolute quietness. There's going to be panic. There's going to be a lot of talking and people on phones, and it's a very chaotic situation, and they bring that out very well on the screen. If you're not gonna like this movie, this is gonna be it. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but by the end of the movie, you're gonna know whether you like this movie or not. I think everything was good up until a certain point, and that point, while I get what the director wanted to do, it's not my way of doing it, but I can still appreciate everything that led up to it. And since I just watched the movie like yesterday, I'm still trying to decide how I feel about it. Yes, it's a good movie. I'm trying to decide if that one element ruined it for me. Have you seen this film? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.